Wait. Come on, Randy. Let's go, Pete. Randy, let's do it.
Okay, this is the 2023 Valley of the Sun third stage of the stage race, the Crit, downtown. This is a nice safe course. There's one corner that can be a little tricky with the group. They can kind of push you, but I'll show you that in a second. My goal for this race was to stay out of trouble so that I can go to work on Tuesday of the week. So the top 10 guys were all separated by 20 to 30 seconds. So unless something went up the road, pretty much everybody was going to stay in position. So my goal was, as being a top 10, is to stay out of trouble and ride my own race, even if it meant that I was going to be putting down a little more power than I should. I just wanted to be safe. This is a good training race for me. This wasn't a race for me. I wanted to get around this course at least once at speed with these guys and see how I felt. So I stayed near the front. That way I can control my lines a little better. Not looking for anything yet. I knew it was going to be a quick race. Only 30 minutes long, which isn't very good. There's the race leader. He's sitting there just protecting, making sure nothing gets too far away from him. We get through, this is the third corner. Now we're coming up on the fourth and final corner. It's kind of deceiving. It's a long drag to the finish at this point, so you really don't want to go early. There were no teams represented, so there wasn't going to be any probably lead outs by any teams to keep the pace high. It was going to be a little scattered. Following this guy up, free ride up. We get up there and we are coming upon the final first lap. They're attacking is Norm Alvis and another guy. I was kind of surprised at how many kind of national and international caliber racers were there, and so just wanted to have a good race. My legs felt good, and I just wanted to put in a good effort and get some good training out of this weekend. So here we are entering this corner. This is a pretty safe corner. It's a little rough right there. You'll see some manhole covers. You don't really want to hit those, as you can see. Cut this corner, save that inside from being taken from you. Coming up on this left-hand turn. This is pretty safe, even though there is a raised island here, the yellow one you'll see. Stayed away from that pretty easy. There it is. Take this inside. Coming up on these guys that we don't really want to go too far. They didn't seem like they were too motivated. I was thinking of countering over the top of this, but decided not to at this time. So here we are, just kind of rolling around, long straightaway here. Was thinking that this might be a good place to attack for a preem or a final. See if I can get a gap and then just hold it to the line. And that's was a plan of mine. So I'm getting comfortable with the course, figuring out which lines I like, which ones are usable, just trying to orient myself to the whole course while staying safe. This guy came by, I thought, no, I'll take a ride to the front. There's still a couple of guys, I believe, off at this point, and I'm motivated to roll with anybody that wants to roll. This coming up to this corner, you got to take that inside in between the manhole cover and the curb. If not, you kind of get pushed over to that far side. There was an accident later in this race where some people got pushed over there, unfortunately, and I knew I needed to stay away from that. You can see those guys up there. They're my carrot. I'm feeling fine. willing to ride at the front at this point. I can control my lines. I'm not in the hurt locker. I feel like I'm at a good threshold. Just no reason for me to feel like drop back. I've got people on my wheel. I figure if they want to come through, come on through. I'm okay. This guy comes through, he was strong, this guy was strong. I'd gotten in with the road race day before in a break with those guys and knew that they were willing to do some work, and I was willing to work with them, so I was glad they came up and we're rolling on these guys that are up the front. There's another guy that will probably come into the picture here in just a second, and I knew that he was willing to roll as well, so I keep it up, just figuring this will be the sorting. There's the guy I was speaking of. Nice, strong, full-figured racer like myself, willing to put down the power, good fitness. I'm willing to ride his wheel, and he's willing to work with me, I believe. So we're catching on these guys. He's going to go right through them, and I'm willing to go with him, thinking that maybe something will happen here. We'll get a split, but without a rear camera you can't see what I already know, and there's basically people lined up, not fracturing. So he's going to take a nice long pull here. Good line, feel comfortable around him. So he's going to pull off here in a second, and I'm going to keep it down just to keep it moving. Again, I don't feel like I'm hurting, or getting close to that. I feel comfortable. I feel better about the course. Feels like a better line here. I missed those manhole covers, and I'm learning to shorten this course as much as I possibly can. So I just kind of stay here at the front and let it roll. I think somebody will come up here in a minute. Not sure. Why would they? Nice big draft behind me, I'm sure. Everybody seems to love it. I've never experienced it. So just kind of picking different lines on this straightaway, figuring out what I like. So I tried this far side. I thought it was nice and smooth until you kind of get up here. You get a little pinch, a little couple of bumps right there. I decided maybe that wasn't the best line, but it was an option if needed, and I knew what was there if I had to use it. Coming up on here on that second to the last turn, keep it going. We're feeling fine. We're 8 minutes into this race. I know that there's probably going to be another counter over the top of me. Why not? It's probably a little strung out, but bunchy. There goes Norm and the race leader again. These guys jump. You can see everybody's twitchy, ready to jump on anything. And here we go.
Racers are all back together now.
It's always interesting to have people in front of you because you think that they're motivated because they came over the top of you. And sometimes they get in front of you and not much happens. So I decided to take this inside a little bit. This guy throws in a flyer. I was thinking of going with him, but it was just so snappy. And I thought, nope, not going to do it. And probably wise not to burn that match because he's going to give up the chase or give up the effort here in just a second. I just kept it within my power band and said, people want to come around and help me, but I'm okay. So you can see he's coming back. He realized that he was just probably solo and pulled the parachute, which was probably wise in his case. Looking over my right shoulder here, seeing what the situation is after all of that. See that there's a group, and so I just kind of stay here, see if people are going to come in on the right hand side and dive that corner. Just kind of protecting it, kind of looking to see if they're going to come up so I don't get shoved over. Take that corner, and I'm back into my steady effort, picking my lines, figuring out what I want to do next. Felt like this would be a good line for the finish if I needed to use it. And there they go again, another counter over the top of me. I, at this point, wasn't too worried because this has happened several times. We've always seemed to reel them back without too much effort, so it wasn't of much concern. Plus I can see some guys coming over the top of me, and they're willing to put in the effort. I think right there, I can't quite remember if it was there, but I think there was a crash behind us. The guys got pushed wide, which is a concern of mine, and so we kept it rolling. A little bit of a gap there. I don't remember why I let that wheel go. I think there was something happening around me that I just wasn't too comfortable with. As you can see, they're not putting in too much of an effort. I don't have to put in big power to get on them. In the draft at this speed, feeling comfortable, trying to decide here what I should do. Realized these are some of the motivated guys, and I thought maybe they would go with me if the opportunity presented itself. Instead, we just kind of rolled together here again. Some new people are coming up the front, which tells me that the speed has slowed when I start seeing new people coming over the top of me. There's also some 65-year-old plus guys coming into the mix. It's always fun to see them with all their experience. But they're not people I have to be too concerned with. But they could create a gap. They could do something that makes me miss something I'm looking for. Feeling really comfortable in here. It's almost too easy to put in an effort. They've been ringing preems like crazy. I've thought about going after one or two, but I just decided I would focus on being safe, stay near the pointy end, choose my lines, still thinking that I want to do something. I think this is right there was the crash. Yeah, that was the location of that crash. They just got pushed wide by everybody and going to the outside, so that is not a good line on that corner. You want to hit between that manhole cover and the curb for the best line. So we just keep it rolling. I always figure when there's a crash like that, the best thing to do is stay steady, stay calm. So we're kind of bunching up a little bit here. I think our 55 plus had 43 guys registered, and I want to say that the 65s had 20 something. So this is a decent sized field. So I think there's a preem on the line here. So people are starting to bunch up. I'm thinking, should I go for it? Should I not? Just feeling comfortable at this point. So I decide to move up, stay out of trouble, and come over just nice, even, come over the top, just keep out of trouble. Again, my legs just feel good. I don't feel like I'm I'm really working here. I don't feel like I'm on the rivet, so I just kind of keep it going. And here's that final straightaway again. I stay to the left. That way I only have to protect one side, or keep track of one side. Somebody could slip in on that left, but there goes Norm again with some guy. And I think it was for a preem, if I remember right. There's a good wheel. Let him go. Decide to stay on that. But this guy right here just kind of got in the way of that. He wasn't motivated as I was, and it was into that corner. So naturally a gap opened up. And now I'm kind of looking, going, what should I do? Put in an effort, or do I look around to see if somebody else is a little more motivated than me? I kind of get a little worried because I know that they're willing to work, and if given the opportunity maybe they will, but I see them kind of fanned out, and I see them line up. So I'm trying to gauge what I should do in this case, and I just keep it steady. I am looking for some help. See if anybody else is motivated. They're not really pulling away. So I'm kind of unsure what I should be doing at this point, what my best option is. So I swing over, try to see if somebody else will get motivated. I see them separate up the top. So I know that they're not cohesive. They're not working as a team. These guys come through, gives me a little break, probably take a drink, and just trying to figure out what to do here again. The guy who I thought would be motivated is up there at the front. He is motivated, wants to keep going, but I really wanted to be with him and in a break because I knew the two of us had lots to be motivated about, and I knew he should be a big engine. So I come over here and try this right hand side, this time as a potential option. Take a look over my shoulder, see if I can cut that corner again to my line that I really like. Sure enough, can. Just keep it rolling at this point. Yeah, I got my nose in the wind a lot. Probably some people say, you had good legs, why not sit in and go for preems or save them for the end? Again, my motivation was, I want to work out. I'm here to test my legs. And they had been good to me, so, and they're not hurting, so let's just keep it going. Swing over, look over my left hand shoulder to see if there's what the situation is. They're all just content to sit behind the big old draft. And so I just keep it going. Get the workout. Swing wide again. Take a look, see if anything's changed. Maybe somebody's getting motivated, looking for maybe a counter that I can jump on, or I don't know, something to keep me motivated here. Really like this backside. This corner's real smooth. This last corner got a little bit of a bump into it right there, but it's not bad. The manhole covers aren't bad. Again, I come over here to the far side, close off that left a little bit, looking over the right. I think everybody just behind me is just thrilled that doing some work. This guy goes over the top, so I'm on guard thinking somebody else is going to kind of maybe go to him. And I'm thinking in my head, if I catch him, maybe I should counter. Depends on who it is. Get my favorite line. Keep it going. I think this is a lapped rider we're coming up on. I think he is lapped. I'm not sure. Come over the top of this guy. Stay away from those manhole covers there. Yep. And just keep going. Just holding steady power. This early season I have not a lot of quick acceleration work done. So I just had to realize what my power band was and work with that. And if I could keep it high, then most likely I didn't have to worry about all the quick jumps and accelerations and the counter attacks of the counters and so forth. It just offered me easy way to deal with what I wanted to get out of it. Thinking at this point we're pretty close to only a few laps to go, and I think if I remember correctly, I just stay out here, and I'm willing to be that lead out guy for anybody and everybody. I feel like I still have a couple of kicks in me still. I feel if the speed is high enough, maybe that would deter some people. I think there was a preem on this one. We'll see in a second. A bunch of people come over the top of you really quick. It was definitely a preem. So, just got a good sense of the course at this point. Just keeping it going. I'm happy. I'm sure everybody behind me is more than thrilled to have somebody else do the work. I do slow it down a little bit. Here I swing wide. Take a look, see who's there. I think all I saw was a giant line of smiling cyclists. So let's give them some more to smile about. And I keep it going. See, the speed came down a little bit because of the way I'd taken those lines. Didn't have as much speed. Come over here. Maybe somebody will decide to come through. This guy comes through. Pretty big turnover, but the speed stays up. And I'm willing to let them do the work. Just kind of thinking I'm resting here, but we're keeping the speed up, so that benefits me a lot. Not going to have a lot of counters at this point. Keep holes for quite a while from this point on, and I'm content to sit there. I want to think that there's probably 3 to go at this point. Figuring out what I want to do for each of these final laps until he's getting tired. When you get out of the saddle like that, you're getting tired. Felt like all these corners I could pedal through or get through. I think there was a preem. This guy was going for the preem. I hadn't seen him all day, all race. He nabs it. Good for him. I'm thinking, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to get on him and realize he's going backwards. He's getting back in the pack. So I resume my favorite position, up at the front with a bunch of smiling cyclists behind me. I think at this point there's maybe 2 to go. Keep it going. Bring it down a little bit. Try to get some people to come over the top of me. Thinking they'll be motivated, I could slot into the top 5, top 6 to be what I figured would be a good spot to come out of. Not really looking for anybody's wheel to follow. I probably should have. I think there was a couple of wheels that I knew that they would accelerate. Wouldn't be too snappy, and I might be able to just have them drag me up a couple of positions. At this point I knew it was safe. This guy came over the top of me. I was willing to let him go. This guy was snappy as well. And this guy was, I figured, going to be snappy too from the day before. So I was happy in this position. I want to think that there's potentially 1 or 2 to go. Forget, maybe you'll hear the announcer say it. And it kind of let up. So you see people coming over the top. I'm not too worried. I'm still okay at this point. You see it's a little wide, so that means it's going to bunch. I'm moving over to try to get my line. There goes Norm. I was thinking of taking his wheel, but this guy kind of pinches me off again. And pinch right there. And I'm just like, nope, I need to go to work on Tuesday, not playing that game. I'll find another way. And I'm a little worried at this point. See people kind of getting a little wide. It's not real high speed. So some new faces are coming to the front, which tells me it's not real fast or wide. So I'm trying to devise what I want to do. I think this is the final lap. I lose a couple of positions. I'm thinking, what should I do? I know I can move up on this backside. Need to find a way to do it without too much loss of energy. So I kind of swing over here, follow this guy up, and just kind of come over the top of him. Trying to decide, do I go here? I thought about it. But the speed starts picking up, so I knew that I couldn't create the gap. That moment was past. There's Norm on the outside. There's the inside. Thinking, what do I want to do? It's getting quick. You'll see Norm punch it right here. And the drag race is on, and so I'm looking for wheels. And this guy, hadn't seen him all day. He comes up. And I just start sprinting. It's a long ways. Haven't worked on sprint. And I finished 10th. 8th overall. I'm happy. I got good numbers. And people kind of decided to go a little too wide on that corner, and so I yipped at him a little bit. I wasn't sure what they were going to do. So we're all just cooling down here. And nice, safe race. Good race. I'm happy with the weekend. What more can I say?